We are smack dab in the middle of the holiday season, and people are out braving the stores and malls in order to find the perfect gift for the closest gamers in our lives. And if you are an irresponsible, procrastinating fuck, then you probably haven't even started yet. I want to, but I don't know where to begin, you cry. Well, that's where I come in. Welcome to Backlog Challenger's Holiday Buyer's Guide 2022. Here's a small selection of games I think you might want to consider as some gifts for your Christmas this year. Here's what my list is about. Software only. Obviously, if you can buy a console and have an opportunity to do so, then go for it. I'm looking at you, Sony. Buying Switches, PS5s, and Series X's/S's are a no-brainer, so they won't be on the list. And accessories are too subjective in my opinion to bother with, so I'm leaving those out. 2022 titles only. If I include every noteworthy game since the Switch came out, we'll be here forever. Same goes for the Xbox and the PS5 since they're both backwards compatible. Yes, you should buy Zelda, Tsushima, and Gears if you haven't already, but the chances are you have, and once again, no brainer. There is one game I'm making an exception for, but we'll get to that soon enough. Pretty simple, right? Let's begin. We're going to split this into two categories, console exclusives and multiplats. Starting off with the console exclusives. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Kirby is always a solid choice, and Forgotten Land is no exception. Kirby is now free from the 2D plane and is now in his first 3D open platformer. Kirby games have always had straightforward gameplay but hidden depth for those who want to see everything. Just ignore the bore. Splatoon 3. Splatoon 3 needs no introduction here on this channel, so all I'll say is this. Splatoon 3 is the most feature-rich entry to date with deeper customization, more mobility options, and a streamlined single-player campaign. Just be prepared to shoot a shitload of targets. Pokemon Legends Arceus. Arceus harkens back to that very brief era in Pokemon games that have more of a focus on story than beating a league. Arceus has you go on a mission to complete the Hisui/Sinnoh Pokedex, but this time the player has a more active role in the capturing process, where you must use your reflexes and the environment to be successful. It's a nice change of pace. Live Alive. A classic JRPG from the era of SNES games that never left Japan. This one is unique in the sense that you can have multiple main characters, each through different eras of history that you can tackle in any order at any time that you wish. Also, each era has a different mechanic alongside your typical RPG system. It's a fine game that has finally been localized for the West. Give it a look. Mario plus Rabbids Spark of Hope. Tactical battles have returned to the Mushroom Kingdom once again, and this time combat is a lot more organic. Gone are the grids and the gameplay of the previous title and make way for more dynamic movement options and tactical decisions. It's a great update to a fine game. Pokemon Scarlet/Violet, with an asterisk. I'm going to be blunt. This game is a shit show on a technical level, and a case study for Nintendo's desperate need for a Switch Pro, or Switch 2, or whatever the fuck they'll eventually call it. On the other hand, it is the most fun people have had in the mainline Pokemon game in a long time. I'm probably going to wait out for a couple of patches, but if you can ignore all that, then dig in right now. Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon can't catch a break. The first game released around the same time as Breath of the Wild, with the second game coming out around the same time as Elden Ring, and the hype train was in full gear. Horizon is a fine game and a solid follow-up to the first. Now that the hype of Elden Ring has died down, maybe it's time to see what Aloy's got for you. God of War Ragnarok. Yeah, no shit. And now, onto the multiplats. Ghostwire Tokyo. Show of hands here. Who forgot this game existed? For some reason, Shinji Mikami's next game came and went despite favorable reviews. In any case, how many games can you make where you can parkour around the city and exorcise demons while throwing up gang signs? Now that I think of it, the elaborate hand movements kinda remind me of PNO 3, another game worked on by Mikami. Did PNO 3 inspire Ghostwire? No, it didn't. Tunic. This one does some very interesting things in the Zelda formula. It can get a little cryptic at times, so be prepared. Signalis. Basically a love letter to 80s cyberpunk anime and classic survival horror. It's a PB&J sandwich you never knew you needed. The King of Fighters 15. A really solid fighting game with some pretty deep mechanics. Also, my boy Shingo was coming back, baby! Stray is a tight exploration game that doesn't overstay its welcome. If you are a cat person, you probably beat it already. Cyberpunk 2077. Remember that exception I said about earlier? Well, here it is. So, I know I'm cheating here. I know this came out 2 years ago, but it's now in a playable state. Also, go watch Edge Runners. Watch that first, then play the game. Well, thank me later. Sifu. This is one of the most unique action games I've played in a long time. A must-play for fans of the genre or kung fu cinema in general. Stranger of Paradise. Final Fantasy Origin. If you love Nioh but wanted something a little more streamlined, this is for you. Also, Gilgamesh is here now, so check it out. Elden Ring. Yeah, no shit. So, that's my quick guide. Like I said, I try to limit the list of games to ones that released this year, with the obvious exception of Cyberpunk, because you can actually play that shit now. Obviously, if you have an Xbox, you're gonna want Halo Infinite. If you have a Switch, you're going to want Smash Ultimate. Older games are too obvious of a pick, and most people have them already, and I didn't really want this list to be bloated with games that didn't release this year. If there's any games that you think should be on this guide, or if you have a guide on your own, put it down in the comments section and let me know, cause I'm pretty sure there are some that I want to include that I forgot. 2022 was a stacked year for games, y'all. For real.